Almost every culture on Earth believes in ghosts. Dead people who didn't quite log out properly. Lingering consciousness, spirits, echoes. Different names, but it's the same idea. Something of you sticks around after you die. Which sounds comforting until you try to figure out what that something actually is. Because that's where everything falls apart. Ghosts are everywhere. Ancient Rome had them. Japan has entire taxonomies of them. Victorian England turned them into a hobby. Modern America put them on TV, with night vision cameras and a dramatic whispering sound. So clearly there's something going on, right? Well, not exactly. Because while cultures agree that ghosts exist, they completely disagree on what ghosts are. Are they conscious spirits? Are they residual energy recordings or demons pretending to be grandma? Are they psychic impressions trapped in space? Sometimes they can think. Sometimes they're just loops, and sometimes they move objects. Sometimes they can't even open a door. It's less a theory and more a grab bag of spooky ideas. But here's the problem. You can't study something you can't define. Science works by measuring things, but to measure something you need to know what it is. Mass, energy, information. Ghost hunting skips that step entirely. People wave EMF detectors around abandoned buildings like they're scanning for Wi-Fi spirits. Thermal cameras, audio recorders, spirit boxes, measuring what exactly? There's no agreed mechanism, no consistent properties, no baseline behavior. Any signal you get is meaningless because you don't know what would count as a real hit in the first place. But let's assume ghosts are real. Not common, just real sometimes. Billions of humans have lived and died. If even a tiny fraction became ghosts, we should be drowning in them. Your house would be haunted, your school would be haunted, your grocery store would be extremely haunted. Every hospital would be a supernatural traffic jam. But instead, ghost sightings are rare and inconsistent and weirdly selective. They show up in old buildings at night under ambiguous conditions, almost like they prefer environments where misinterpretation is easy. So let's say you do see something weird, a shadow, a voice, a figure at the end of the hallway. What's the most likely explanation? It's not ghosts. Your brain is misfiring. Sleep paralysis? That's pretty common. Seeing patterns that aren't there? That's a constant thing. Memory distortion? Guaranteed. Even something exotic like aliens is still more plausible because at least aliens would be physical and follow some version of the rules. Ghosts require entirely new categories of existence that interact with reality just enough to be spooky, but never enough to be testable. That's not just unlikely, it is suspiciously convenient. So, why do ghosts stick around as an idea? It's because they solve a very specific problem: death. Ghosts are what you get when you want an afterlife, but don't want the full mythology. They're the lightweight version of immortality. No judgment day, no cosmic system, it's just you, still here, still thinking and still existing. It's comforting because the alternative is that when you die, you don't linger, you don't watch over anyone, you don't exist at all, and ghosts let you say, maybe not. So, here's the problem with ghosts. They don't make any sense. They can't be defined, they can't be measured, and if they were real, they'd be everywhere. But they're not. Instead, they show up exactly where you'd expect a human brain to fill in the gaps. Because ghosts are real, just not out there. They haunt our fears and our memories and our refusal to accept that some things, like us, don't leave anything behind.